this is my filming shirt.
Why? Because you're always wearing that?
The last 2 times I think we've done a video, I'm in this shirt.
We are leaving Jackson. We're actually in the bigger Teton National Forest right now. We're driving through. And can I say that the exhaust brake on the truck is amazing? It keeps me from heating up the brakes and wearing them down. It's just a very comfortable ride in this truck. Very, very highly recommend the HD series of trucks. Anyway, yeah, so we're leaving Jackson. I really enjoyed Jackson. It was a good home base. I needed somewhere to work for the time when we were exploring the Tetons and Yellowstone, and we needed somewhere where it had cell service because I had to work all week, and I actually had great cellular reception and used the Virginian RV. It was like a Virginian Inn. Was the
front of it's a hotel, the back of it's an RV park.
Right. So it's the only like RV park with full hookups actually in Jackson. So, and it was actually quite hard to get reservations there, but I was able to log on.
Old school when it comes to making reservations.
Well, they had just opened up their online system, so I was able to log on right away and book 10 nights there. But the town of Jackson is really cool. There's so many bike paths all over. Like it seems like the locals just cruise around on bikes, which makes sense because it gets really busy with the traffic. But the trail system there is really, really cool. And then we found I used the All Trails app plus just Google and looking at all the different trails in the area. I was able to find this cool little mountain biking trail that the kids loved. We took that, I don't know, 4 or 5 times.
Every time we could, probably.
And it was also that we could, like, anytime we rode into town on the bikes, which was only a mile into the center of Jackson, which has the
Jackson Square or something.
Well, Jackson Square, right? So that has the antlers, arches, and there's 4 arches of elk antlers, and
the Boy Scouts go out and gather all the antlers and build these arches.
So the antelope shed their antlers every year and they grow them back. So the Boy Scouts go out and they search through the forest and they find these antlers. And it's really cool is that they bring them into town square there's like a certain day, and the town will auction and purchase. Boy Scouts will auction off the antlers, and the town's people will purchase those to be donated for the archways.
I would say one of my favorite things was definitely the mountain biking, just because the kids got better every time we went. And like you said, the trail system. I mean, there's so much snow here, and when the snow melts, they have these really beautiful rivers and it's runoff, but it becomes part of their river system. And no matter what time of day or what the weather was like, there were always teenage range to like 25, early 30s, people just hanging out by the river. Some kids were trudging through it, some people had picnics, some people would hike, but it was just really kind of fun to see what the locals do. Like, they don't go snowmobiling, they don't go river rafting, but they've got really comfortable patches of the picnic area next to the river.
Yeah, it was just, and everybody in the town was just so friendly.
So friendly.
I mean, there wasn't anyone said hi to everybody, and most of the time they'd spark up a conversation and be interested about where we were from and what we were doing here.
People were nice in Utah, but they were down for business. Like, you come here, you're eating, you come here, the hardware store, you need something. In Utah, they were just down for business talking. But in Wyoming, even people walking on the track or rocking on the track, you met a woman hiking and she said, "Let me show you to the very top of the mountain I
Right.
think it should go a whole new hiking trail that you probably would have never found.
Yeah, that
But
wasn't
she
on the map.
spent her morning taking some random guy that she didn't know up the trail. The guy at the hardware store was so friendly. The lady in the hardware store said, "Don't worry about the kids. They can play. They're not going to break anything." And wanted to know all about them and where they're from and what they're doing and, you know, how school going and what they find most interesting. Like, you guys are supposed to be working, but they're so friendly that, I don't know, they want to get to know the people that come through there more so than doing just the job, which was really nice.
Yeah, the pace of life is just a lot slower than what we're used to, born and raised in California. It's just, there's more to life than getting things done. So we went to Yellowstone on Friday. It was actually really, really cool to see Yellowstone. I'm glad that we went. I mean, it was Friday before Memorial Day weekend, so I'm glad we didn't go in on Memorial Day weekend because on that Friday was
Pretty busy.
very, very busy. And I could only just imagine how bigger the crowds are going to get throughout the summer. But it was
Well, and knowing that the Tetons and Yellowstone have hit record numbers the last 2 years,
right.
were their opening weekend. Well, I wouldn't say first day of opening weekend, but like the Friday before even Memorial Day starts, and that's typically the season is Memorial to Labor Day, and it was busy.
Yep. But we were still able to see a bunch of cool stuff. Old Faithful was, you know, obviously we're here, we got to see that. That's like number one. And there was kind of like a whole little city down at Old Faithful. Got to walk around the boardwalk there. But I think probably my favorite thing, and I think you said yours too, was Prismatic Springs. So the Grand Prismatic, it's in one of the basins, but we didn't actually go down to the boardwalk there. I did a little research online and found there's a hiking trail called Fairy Falls, and so if you take the Fairy Falls trail, you get to see an overlook that just overlooks the entire basin and really gets an amazing view of Prismatic Springs. And
We did that, like you said, on a Friday, and there were probably 30 people up at the lookout
at the
with us.
viewing point, yeah.
I think being up high made the blue look more sapphire, made the green look more teal, made the orange look more vibrant, fiery, versus just being right up on it. I really would have seen
The
the
very
density of it. Yeah.
We stopped by Biscuit Basin, and Curtis and I kind of took a lap around that, but that was really cool because just sapphire pool, and it had these like really deep blues. It was actually like a really deep pool, and it's the sun and the minerals in the water that make those pools the color they are, and then the orange comes from bacteria that thrives on the warm, hot spring water. So it was really cool just to see those, and there were a couple bubbling geysers, and it was just a lot of fun to walk around the boardwalk and just check out these beautiful hot springs.
Saturday was rodeo night.
Yep.
We got to go to our very first rodeo. We got to see bucking broncos. People trying to ride a bull for more than 8 seconds, which is a lot harder than it looks, I imagine. And some of those cowboys didn't seem to.
And a lot more dangerous.
Yeah.
Getting kicked in the head by one of those guys.
And we got to see some girls do some barrel racing, which was really fun because even they had 2 little girls that were probably Tammy's age and maybe one a little younger. And they did a pretty smoking job too. So
Yeah.
that was fun to watch and experience for the first time.
The kids loved it. That was really felt very Jackson Hole-esque, just being at the rodeo.
I could be a cowgirl.
Yeah,
I think Tinley and Curtis would agree with me.
yeah. And Curtis, he wants to ride a bull so bad.
And they keep them up that for a while.
Yeah. And then Sunday we went to Jenny Lake, which actually really just made us miss our cabins up in Canada. But the boat ride, we went over and went to the Jenny Lake store to try to say hi to some friends of ours, or some relatives of friends of ours, and they weren't working. That was their day off. And we went down to the boat dock and took a boat ferry across the water, and then hiked up to
Hidden Falls.
It was Hidden Falls. So Hidden Falls is really cool. It's like you gotta. They call it Hidden Falls because if you were just on the main trail, you wouldn't even see it. So you gotta take a little way off.
You can hear it for sure.
You can hear it, but the trees are in the way. So just a little bit off the path, 100 feet or so, and then opens up in these beautiful falls.
And then we went up Inspiration Point.
Inspiration Point was a really cool overlook of just all of Jenny Lake and just the surrounding areas. So.
Yeah, I liked Inspiration Point too. It was kind of fun to show the kids too that the hiking trail that we were on, it was almost like stairs. And they were like, how did somebody put all of these rocks up here? And it was like, no, they blast steps, and sweep the rubble down into like a ravine. So to show them that you can actually blaze a trail, you can actually create a hiking space. So Inspiration Point is not naturally occurring. That somebody had to trudge that trail.
Had to groom the trail.
Yeah.
That was a good little hike for them.
And it was definitely worth going all the way up. We did meet some people on the trail that stopped and you hike up and then there's a plateau. And the plateau gives you a decent view of what you're going to see, but going the extra quarter mile or half mile is definitely worth it.
Yep.
You can see the entire lake.
What was cool about the drives to Yellowstone, to Jenny Lake, is all the wildlife that you just see on the side of the road. Like you can just pull over, and
if you see cars parked on the side of the road, they're looking at something, so you should pull over.
There were a couple times where we were like, what's everyone looking at? And we'd like stop, and they'd be like, there's a bear up in the trees over there. Just pointing out wildlife in the area.
We went to the bar, J Chuck Wagon.
Yeah, so that was, I guess,
kind of like a dinner theater show.
Yeah, it's a dinner theater show, but it's a whole experience, right? So that's very family friendly.
It's family owned and run.
Yep.
They got cowgirl and cowboy hats.
Then they do a whole meal for.
You get the show for free if you pay for a meal.
Kind of full of music and some. Music, kind of a little bit of a skit show.
Cowboy
poetry, a little bit of everything. So it was a really cool experience. And this is their last year. This season is their last season, and I guess they sold the property and are moving on. But they've been doing it for 45 years or something. It was
probably the most authentic show you can get to cowboy life. We're gonna Harvard host the next 3 nights at different kinds of museums, so it'll be really fun. And I think we're gonna get a kick out of that video.
Then we'll land in South Dakota.
Some Black Hills, some Sioux Falls,
Mount Rushmore.